Hey guys, today I am filming my review on the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. This is a palette that has been out for quite some time. I received this for Christmas last year, but I really hadn't given it much love, so I'm glad I took the time this month to test it out and review it. I have tried a few other Huda Beauty palettes. I have some of her mini obsessions, and I will be getting the new Nude for Christmas this year, so I'm very excited to try that one out. So this palette retails for $65 and it is exclusive to Sephora and the Huda Beauty website. So to talk about the packaging of the palette, this is Huda right here. I think it is so stunning. I love her image. They also have this little insert that I just recently threw away. It was very beautiful as well, but it was really similar to the picture on the front of the palette here. It is just so gorgeous. Huda is so gorgeous, and it is a nice thick sturdy cardboard. It does have a magnetic closure, which you guys know is my favorite kind of palette packaging. Nice large mirror here, and then you have your 18 eyeshadows. I love this packaging because it is super beautiful, but it is also very functional and it isn't really excessive and bulky. So within the 18 shades in this palette, you do have 4 different finishes. It says you have 8 buttery mattes, 6 pressed pearls, 3 duochrome toppers, and 1 glitter. And I do think it is really cool that she has so many different finishes within this palette, and I am going to show you all of the shades close up with swatches. So here are all of the shades. Desert Sand is a matte, Musk is a matte, Eden is a matte, Amber is a matte, Blood Moon is a pearl, Oud or OUD is a matte, Celestial is a duochrome, Nefertiti is a pearl, Twilight is a duochrome, Amethyst is a matte, Royal is a pearl, Retrograde is a duochrome, Cashmere is a pearl, Angelic is a pearl, Cosmo is a glitter, Turkish Delight is a pearl, Saffron is a matte, and Blazon is a matte. So here are the 8 mattes in the palette. Desert Sand, Musk, Eden, Amber, Oud, Amethyst, Saffron, and Blazon. All of these, with the exception of the lightest shade, were only one swipe. The lightest shade, I just want to build it up so you can see the real undertone in it, but that is some really intense pigment. Here are the 6 pearls in the palette. This is Blood Moon, Nefertiti, Royal, Cashmere, Angelic, Turkish Delight. So you can see these do have a nice pearl shine to them, but they aren't metallic or glittery. Here are the 3 duochromes: Celestial, Twilight, and Retrograde. And last but not least, we have the glitter Cosmo. I do believe that Temptalia has reviewed this palette, so she should have dupes for it as well, so I will have that link in the description box. You probably do have some similar shades in your collection, but I do think that a lot of these are really different and fun. Even the warm neutrals, something about the tones of them makes them different than the other ones I have in my collection. So I was able to create several different looks with this palette. I wasn't able to use every single shade, but almost. I only was unable to use just a few of the shadows, but I was definitely able to get a feel of this palette as a whole and test out every single formula. I will show you the details of all of the looks I created. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. I have Retrograde on my lid on top of some glitter glue, Eden as my transition color, Amber as my crease color, and Oud, OUD, as my outer corner color. Here are what the eyes look like up close. On my cheeks, I'm wearing MAC blush in Cantaloupe. On my lips, I'm wearing the ColourPop Lippie Stick in Kiddo, which has a sheer finish. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. I used Eden as my transition color, Amber as my crease color, and Blood Moon as my lid shade. Here are what the eyes look like up close. On my cheeks, I'm wearing theBalm Instain Blush in Swiss Dot. On my lips, I'm wearing the Tarte Tarteist Quick Dry Matte Lip Paint in the shade Rosé. Here's today's look using my palette of the month. I used Eden as my transition color, Blazing as my crease color, Saffron as my outer corner color, Turkish Delight as my lid shade, and then on the other eye, on top of Turkish Delight, I used the red glitter Cosmo. Here what the eyes look like up close. As you can see, this is with just the shadow and this is with the glitter on top. I love it both ways, and I really loved the glitter with the rest of these shadows, so I figured I would just put them both on so you could see two different eye looks in one. On my cheeks, I'm wearing MAC Blush in Cantaloupe. On my lips, I'm wearing a combination of a lipstick and a tinted lip oil. I am wearing the Tarte Color Splash lipstick in Rum Punch. And then I went over that with the e.l.f. tinted lip oil in Nude Kiss. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. I used Eden as my transition color, Blazing as my crease color, Royal as my lid shade, and Amethyst as my outer corner color. And then as a topper on my right eye, I use the shade Twilight, and you are able to see what it looks like before and after the topper. Here what the eyes look like up close. So this is what it would look like before and after the duochrome topper. On my cheeks, I'm wearing MAC Cantaloupe. On my lips, I'm wearing the Tarte Matte LipSurgence in Exposed. So to talk about the formula, the texture, and the pigmentation, the mattes are very pigmented, which is great because an issue that I had with her mini palettes is that I felt like I really had to sit there and build the mattes. With this palette, I did not have that problem. Maybe it's because the mattes are more saturated, but even this lighter peachy shade here ended up being one of my favorites. I used it with almost all of my looks, and that one ended up showing up really nicely on my skin tones. I was very happy with the mattes. These are extremely powdery, so you are going to have a ton of kick up on your brush. I did have a little fallout on my face, but not too much fallout with the mattes, but a ton of kick up. So then for the pearl finish eyeshadows, those are like your standard shimmer, but they do have that beautiful pearlized finish. It's not metallic, but it isn't a satin. Pearlized is the perfect way to describe it. These have a nice bit of thickness to them. They apply very pigmentedly onto the eye. With all of those shades, when I was applying them, both with my finger and with a brush, I did have quite a bit of fallout on my face, which is something I don't typically have with just pearl finishes, so I did want to mention that. And then for the duochrome toppers, they have a very similar formula to the Urban Decay duochrome eyeshadow collection. They are a little dry, a little flakier, but they do apply really well with a glitter glue underneath, and they do give a really nice reflective sheen. Because those are a little flakier, you do get a good bit of fallout on your face with those as well. And then for the one glitter Cosmo, I was really nervous about wearing this one, so I did create a normal eye look. Then I applied some glitter glue on the lid and went on top with my finger, and it did pack on the color quite nicely, and it was very opaque and pigmented. It looked beautiful on the eye. It wasn't irritating to my eye, which was nice, but I did get a ton of fallout when I applied it, and I also did get a good bit of fallout throughout the day, which was rather frustrating for me. I don't mind fallout if I can just brush it away, but getting it throughout the day is annoying. But again, this is like a straight glitter, so it was easier to work with than I expected. I just wish there wasn't so much fallout, but honestly overall I am very happy with the formula of all of these. Very pigmented, very saturated, they blend nicely. I wish there was a little less fallout, but honestly, it's not the biggest deal. So I'm really pleasantly surprised. I was a little nervous about how I would feel about the performance of this palette because of my experience with the mini obsessions, but the performance of this palette was amazing. So if I had to name some favorite shades in this palette, it's probably easier to pick my least favorite shades. And there's nothing in here that I really dislike. There are just some shades that I don't love as much, or I don't think I'll be reaching for as much. The shade Desert Sand here is a little too deep for me to to use to set my primer or even clean up my shadow. I used it to clean up my shadow today, but it's a little dark for my skin tone, but I can make it work. But that one's not my favorite. Musk is not my favorite either. I think it looked pretty in the look I created, but it's kind of a weird color because it isn't like a purpley taupe. It's more of like a concrete gray. And I also wasn't crazy about Celestial. That's one of the duochrome shades. It's just kind of an odd color. Angelic is like that NARS Orgasm kind of shade. I do have a bunch of other eyeshadows like that, and it's not a color that I reach for a lot for a shadow. I like it as a blush, but for a shadow, it's not my favorite. Nefertiti is a really pretty light gold color, but it isn't my most favorite shade in the palette. But all of the other shades in the palette, I actually absolutely love. So to give you guys my final thoughts on this palette, $65 is a lot, but you do get 18 shadows, 4 different finishes, and I would say because this is a permanent palette, if you don't own it already, pick it up whenever Sephora has one of their 20% off sales. And like I said, even though these shades might not be the most unique ever because of the tones to them, they are different than the ones that I have in my collections. And I do love the assortment of colors in here. I do believe that I will be reaching for this palette quite a bit to create some looks. I was really happy with the looks I created, and I can see me pulling for this to use as a companion palette as well, either for the shimmers or the mattes. I would actually highly recommend. I am so pleased with it, and I'm happy that I finally took the time to give this some proper love and test it out. So if you all have tested out this palette or any other Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. I would actually just love to know your thoughts on her makeup products in general. I really haven't tried anything besides her shadows, so I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.